get ready. The show's about to start.
Hello, welcome to PRINCEMOJO, everybody. You okay? This is Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2, leak information for you. This could change in the future, but this is what we have up to date. So let's have a look. The first scene will take place in the Great Hall of Winterfell. Jon, Daenerys, Tyrion, Davos and Sansa are present here. Gendry and Tormund tell the rest that the wall has fallen and the Night Watch destroyed. Tormund also mentioned that the Night Kings ride on a dead dragon and that they are severely fucked. Bran Stark confirms Gendry and Tormund's story and tells that the Night King is on his way to Winterfell next. Jon Snow tells the rest that they have no time to lose and asks Master Walken to inform all the banners, everyone in the north, to prepare themselves for war against the army of the dead. They need to prepare for an attack at the battlefield of Winterfell. So, it seems like it. The Night King is winning the war and it's coming down south, north, everywhere. He's going to take and destroy everything. Scene 2. After having to process a lot of new information and struggling with his identity, Jon Snow goes to the crypt to visit his mother, Lyanna, and his uncle, Ned Stark. Daenerys notices that there's something wrong with Jon and finds him in the crypt. She asks Jon what's wrong with him. Jon tells her that he even isn't called Jon Snow. He calls Jon Snow a lie. People have made him believe all of her life. Daenerys is confused and asks Jon for clarification, but Jon walks away from her. Daenerys notices that Jon behaves aloof towards her. She's getting suspicious, as you can see, that there is something wrong. Daenerys walks out of the crypt, which Jorah Mormont notices. He asks her what happened down them in the crypt, but Daenerys answers that she doesn't know what's up with Jon. She tells Jorah that Jon is hiding something from her. Jorah also tells Daenerys that it distracted him that Daenerys has been so absent for days. She answers that she's not feeling very well lately. Jorah proposes to have her examined by Maester Walken. Maybe she's pregnant, we don't know. But how would she be pregnant? She needs to have sex to be that. Maybe she had sex with Jon. Who knows? Scene 3 and 4. Qyburn enters Cersei's chambers. He mentions that he hasn't spoken about her miscarriage anymore and that she needs to take time to rest. Hey, that means Cersei loses the baby that quick. Fantastic in one way. No more Lannisters. But really bad for Cersei. Cersei answers that there's no time for that and doesn't want to say more about the miscarriage. Qyburn leaves her chambers. Cersei watches him from her window, witnessing how the snow falls in King's Landing. Winter has come to King's Landing as well. The next shot is Jaime riding his horse in a snowy conditions. He and Bronn arrive in Riverrun. Both discover that the Tullys are once again laying siege to Riverrun. Jaime enters the stage and meets up with Edmure. Edmure tells Jaime he would have him in chains, but Jaime responds that he doesn't come to argue about the damned castle. He proposes Edmure to help his niece and nephew in the Great War against the Night King. He also promises to give Edmure Riverrun back to the Tullys, since it doesn't matter any longer who's holding the castle at this point. Edmure tends to agree, not for Jaime but his family. So at last he's got some balls, this Edmure guy. He never had no balls before, but now he's going to help Sansa Stark and Jon Snow and everybody else. So we shall see if he carries on with the way he is. Scene 5. Most of House Stark's bannermen and Daenerys' army have now arrived in Winterfell. Among them is Howland Reed. He arrived with his army and Meera Reed by his side. Arya receives a visitor in Winterfell. He seems to be an ordinary bannerman from House Serwyn, but he quickly removes his face. He seems to be Jaqen H'ghor. Oh my days, Jaqen H'ghor has come to help. Wicked! Arya is surprised to have Jaqen visiting her. Jaqen tells Arya that many-faced God requires another death, a name to be crossed off her list. He reveals it to be the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, Cersei Lannister. A price was paid. What better servant of the many-faced God than Arya Stark can kill Cersei Lannister? He gives a vial of poison to Arya and leaves her. That's amazing. That is, if that's true, that is amazing. She has got her wish. She wants to kill Cersei Lannister, and the many-faced God requires this of her at last. So she's going to have some happiness in the future, maybe. Scene 6. Jon Snow seizes the moment to talk with Howland Reed alone, because Howland was there on his birth. He asks Howland to confirm Bran's story, but Howland doesn't acknowledge this at all. Jon pleads to tell the truth since Robert Baratheon isn't alive any longer. There's no point in lying anymore. Howland ultimately confirms that Ned was carrying Lyanna's child when he came out of the Tower of Joy. He always promised him to keep this a secret. Jon thanks him for telling the truth anyway. So now he really knows the truth, that Lyanna's child is Jon Snow. And there is no argument about it. The man that was there at the time, Howland Reed, knows it 100%. Scene 7. Knowing that the army of the undead will be upon them very soon, Tyrone, Tyrion, Jon, Sansa, Arya, Brienne, everybody, and Sam discussed together with the Stark Bannermen and Daenerys' army how they will defend the north. Allegedly, the last Hearth has already been attacked by the White Walkers and their castle destroyed. Ned Umber didn't make it out alive. Tyrion speaks of Daenerys, who's absent due to illness. He comes forward with a plan to defend the north. Tormund, the remaining free folk, the Dothraki, the Unsullied, will attack with dragonglass from the Dread Fort, since that's where they are heading to first. On their way to Winterfell, the dragons will set the army of the dead afire, and House Stark's bannermen and the Knights of the Vale will fight weakened forces at the battlefield of Winterfell, and hopefully destroy the Night King as well. Jon wants Brienne and Podrick to take Sansa, Arya and Bran with them, and to leave with Robin Arryn to the Eyrie. Arya doesn't want to and claims that she's stronger than most men. They need her in the war to come. Jon insists that he doesn't want that. Jorah also wants to fight alongside House Woman, but Lyanna reminds him that she has betrayed his own house. Varys mentions that he has also received word from King Dagny. Supposedly, Queen Cersei has brought a great army of sellswords, and Euron Greyjoy has taken Storm's End to install the army there. Theon pleads to have Storm's End attack, and Gendry agrees since it's the seat of his father's house. Jon promises Theon that he will help to destroy Euron and save his sister after they have dealt with the Night King and his army. There's no time for that now, since all of their lives are in danger and they have no choice than to face the Night King and his army. He needs his help and that of the Iron Islanders, as well as during the Battle of Winterfell. A disappointment, Theon accepts his proposal. So they have to fight, no matter what other worries they have to fight at Winterfell. Everybody has to stay and fight. Scene 8 and Scene 9. Missandei visits Daenerys in her chambers. Daenerys tells Missandei that Master Walken examined her and that he confirmed that she is pregnant. Missandei asks why she isn't happy then. Daenerys feels that Jon has changed towards it and doesn't understand why. The free folk, the Dothraki, the Unsullied, prepare to leave Winterfell. Jon asks Daenerys why she didn't attend the important gathering, but Daenerys doesn't reply to that as well. Mira goes to say goodbye to Bran in the God's Wood in Winterfell. When Bran starts to behave very strangely, he pleads Mira to warn them since the Night King's army is here. Jon is going to say goodbye to Sansa. When Mira runs to warn the others, a huge winter storm starts to come closer to Winterfell. Chaos erupts. Scene 10. The North and Daenerys' army gather outside to face the Knight's army. Jon orders Sansa, Arya and Daenerys to stay inside Winterfell. They are too valuable to lose, and promises them that Winterfell will not fall. Varys, Tyrion, Robin, Sam, Gilly, Lyanna and Missandei also remain inside Winterfell. Arya first doesn't want to but obeys Jon's wish. Sansa asks Mira to get Bran inside ASAP. A huge flock of wits invaded the battlefield of Winterfell. They had to face the army of dead first, and many of them are taken out quite easily. Lots of White Walkers keep coming. Ghost fights with Jon and saves him at one point from a White Walker trying to kill him. Ghost is killed off trying to save Jon. Inside Winterfell, Daenerys is frustrated that she is not able to help and that she should fly Drogon to destroy the undead. Missandei answers that it's not wise to join the fight while she is pregnant. Sam tries to console Gilly and little Sam. The news surprises Sansa, Tyrion and Varys. Drogon comes in between and takes out a big chunk of the Night King's army, but also kills some of the North Bannermen in the process. The White Walkers also enter the stage with the Night King flying undead Viserion above them. Viserion starts to destroy the Northern army as well. Lord Glover and Howland Reed die and are killed by dragonfire. Tormund leaves the free folk and fights but is killed by Drogon's fire. Drogon also manages to kill an undead giant. Meera wants Bran to leave the Godswood, but he tells her he has help and Jon and co. He has to help Jon and co. Bran is trying to control Rhaegal with his mind. Meera wants Bran Meera warns Bran that it's too dangerous and that he should stay inside. Jon and Daenerys' army is diminishing greatly since the White Walkers keep coming. White Walkers try to invade Winterfell. Grey Worm faces two White Walkers and is able to take out one of them with a spear made of dragonglass. The other White Walker kills him. The White Walkers supposedly try to invade Winterfell to take down Bran. Brienne guards the castle together with Podrick, Jorah and Gendry. White Walkers started to invade there as well. Podrick is killed off by a group of wits, which makes Brienne go psycho and take out one of the White Walkers as well as the Oathkeeper. Meera is urging Bran to give up and get inside Bran. Bran doesn't want to. He wants Meera to leave instead and get safe inside the castle. Meera answers that she will stay together with him until the end. Jaime Lannisters and the Tully forces come to the north aid right in time. Bran is managing a walk inside Rhaegal and the dragon starts to fight undead Viserion, trying to bite him, trying to break right in the neck, but gets gravely injured during the fight as well. Rhaegal tries to breathe fire and Viserion, which seems to make the Night King start leaving the battlefield on injured Viserion's back. Oh my god, a lot of people died on that scene. A lot of people are out of the show at this, if this is really true, this is so amazing. But Tormund and Podrick are dead. That's just crazy. We shall see what happens in the next scene. Meera village that this is the end for them. White Walkers are coming for Bran and she gets killed off by the White Walkers while defending Bran's body. Viserion and Rhaegal keep fighting each other and both start to be seriously injured. It seems like Dragonfire can harm the Night King. The White Walkers stab Bran to death, which makes Rhaegal fall to the ground and to be stabbed to death by wits. The Night King's army of undead is starting to diminish. We see Jaime commanding his men and fighting the remaining undead alongside Bronn. Jon fights alongside the Hound and Davos. The Hound is fighting like a boss right there. When Jon starts to notice that the Night King's army is retreating as well, he commands everybody to leave the battlefield ASAP and goes with Davos and the Hound to get everyone safely outside now. The Knights of the Vale, Sansa, Brienne, Robin leave together to the Eyrie. Arya, the Hound, Jaime Lannister, Bronn, Edmund Tully, and Lannister forces retreat to Riverrun. Jon, Davos, Tyrion, Varys, Missandei, Jorah, Samwell, Gilly, Little Sam, Theon. The remaining outside and the forces travel south. Lyanna Mormont and her men retreat to Bear Island. Everybody goes south, getting away from the White Walkers. The White Walkers are retreating, so they're retreating. They're all going to regroup. Well, this is an amazing fight scene if it happens like this at all on the TV screen. Scene 12, the final scene of this episode. The last shot we see Jon and Daenerys on Drogon's back setting all the dead afire, including dead Rhaegal. Both sides suffered great losses in this fight, but they all have to be burnt. If they're not burnt, they're going to be rising and helping the Night Army. But really, really sorry. A lot of people died in this episode. A lot of people we love. The people that died in this episode are Grey Worm, Tormund, Podrick, Meera, Bran, Rhaegal, the Dragon, Robert Glover, and Howland Reed. So Meera, Reed, and Howland Reed, their house is finished. Unbelievable. Podrick, it was fantastic. Tormund was a great character. We loved Tormund. Grey Worm, straightforward geezer, no problems with him. But we like these. These are all the goodies that have died. These are all goodies now. They're all died. Anyway, thank you for watching Prince Mojo YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. And Game of Thrones is going to be wicked next season. Wicked. Let's see what happens.